Hello and welcome everybody. Today, of course, we are going to be online and we are going to be taking on the topic of writing electron configurations. To write these electron configurations, we are going to be following three rules. Here you can see the three rules: the off-ball principle, the Pauli principle, and Hund's rules. I won't bother explaining anything about the rules right now, but what we'll do is go straight in and we'll take a look here at the electron configuration of phosphorus. Here you can see that phosphorus has 15 protons and 16 neutrons. You should remember its atomic number and its nucleon number or its mass number. The atomic number is also called the proton number. With an atomic number of 15, that means that phosphorus contains 15 electrons. And we should be familiar with this from previous work in chemistry. It's electron configuration written as 285, where we say the first shell is 2, the second shell is 8, and the third shell is 5. Now in this section, we are going to be writing electron configurations in a slightly different way. We've already looked at evidence for the Bohr model of the atom, and we've realized that electrons can be described as being at specific energy levels. Okay, so we have various orbitals or energy levels. And here in this diagram here, what we are doing is representing the 1s orbital in here and the 2s as a bigger circle around there, and then what we call the 2p as 3 lobes that go in 3 planes. So that's just to give you some idea of where these orbitals are spatially. But taking the example of phosphorus, which we have written as 2, 8, 5. Let's look at how we'll fill in all of these electrons in these various energy levels that we have here. The first level, as we've learned before, can only contain 2, but we'll be calling that the 1s level, and we'll be filling in the 2 electrons, one going up like this with a half arrow. Here in this diagram I have a double-headed arrow because the software I used at that time couldn't write the half arrow, but it should be half arrow, one going up like that, another one coming down like this to symbolize our 2 electrons, and we say they have opposite spins. When we go back to the rules at the end, you'll see that electrons need to fill up one of these boxes with the lowest energy first, and when you fill them up, you first put one in and then another one with opposite spins. So that's our first level for phosphorus, 1s2. Then we've already noted that phosphorus has 8 electrons on its second level, but now we are going to say that that second level is subdivided into a 2s, which is the big spherical orbital here, and then to the 2p, which I spoke about earlier, these 3 different planes for the 2p orbital. So phosphorus having 8, but here's how we're going to have to fill it up. The first 2 have to go one like this, another one like that. Then we start filling up to get to 8, but there's an order to fill up. First we must put 1 into each box going in the same direction. Now sometimes we could just have an element with 2, 5. An element with 2, 5 actually is nitrogen. And what you see here in red is the electron configuration of nitrogen. 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. And notice how those 3 p's are written. They have to all go in separate boxes and all point in the same direction. But we're not doing nitrogen. So let's erase this. And now let's continue to put in the electrons now with opposite spins. to fill this p level. So we have now 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, but that takes care of the 8 in the second shell. Now we're going to the third shell, and here we also have a 3s. This diagram here doesn't attempt to include the 3s and the 4s and the 3p and the 3d. It will get too complicated to do that. The 3s is another spherical space where 2 electrons can be found, and we'll have to put 2 in here in that third level. And now phosphorus is left with 3 electrons because the third level has 5. And those 3 electrons have to go in like this. One this way, one this way, and one this way. So what have I been doing? I've been starting from the lowest level first, and I've been ensuring that I fill up a level completely with electrons of opposite spins. Then I move to the next level, and I do the same. When I have a level with 3 boxes, like this 2p, then I have to put 1 electron into each box first, each with the same direction, and then I start filling with opposite directions. So now that we've had that experience, I want you to have a look at the rules. And here you have the 3 rules for filling in electrons. Pause and take a read of it, see if we have been following all of those. And now I would like you to try to write some electron configurations on your own. To help you with this, I've provided here on the Jamboard a template for you. You're free to copy this. I'll put a copy of this template also on Google Chat so you can use it. And I would like you to do the following elements. I'd like you to do magnesium. I'd like you to do aluminium. I would like you to do chlorine, and then oxygen. These 4 elements. Label everything the way I showed you on the video, and then submit this to me on your personal Google Chat. Once that's submitted, then we'll move forward to part